We like to think of our greatest monuments as monuments to progress. The skyscrapers pierces the clouds, the launch pads aimed at the stars. But history whispers a darker truth, that our most ambitious towers are rarely built to celebrate our survival. They are built out of fear. And eventually, they are built out of spite. Thousands of years before steel and glass, on a vast, sun-baked plain known as Shinar, humanity stood at a unique crossroads. For the first time in human history, there was no division. No borders. No foreign tongues. The text tells us the entire world spoke one language, a single verbal currency. And with that absolute unity came a terrifying realization: if we can all speak together, there is nothing we cannot do. But instead of looking outward to fill the earth, humanity looked inward. They gathered in the valley, looked up at the sky, and decided to build a mountain of their own. Come, let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. This wasn't just a construction project. It was humanity's first collective technological revolution. They traded raw, unpredictable fieldstone for a new innovation: kiln-fired mud bricks. They traded clay for bitumen, tar, to seal the cracks against the world. They were engineering an artificial mountain, an unshakable fortress designed to withstand any flood, any catastrophe, any god. They wanted to storm the gates of heaven on a staircase of baked mud. And then comes the turning point of the narrative. A single sentence that stands as arguably the greatest piece of cosmic irony ever written. The text states, "But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built." Think about the staggering scale of that irony. Humanity had spent generations exhausting their resources, stacking millions of bricks, bleeding on the scaffolding, believing they were clawing at the face of the Almighty. Yet, to the infinite creator of the cosmos, this skyscraper was so utterly minuscule, so profoundly microscopic, that he still had to pull up a chair, bend over, and descend just to find it. Our peak achievement was an anthill, an act of physical violence. There are no lightning bolts. No apocalyptic earthquakes. God does not crush the bricks into dust. Instead, the divine intervention is entirely psychological. He targets the one piece of infrastructure keeping the entire empire alive. He breaks the code. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other. Language is the operating system of human consciousness. It is the invisible thread that allows two completely separate minds to align, to trust, to empathize. When God fractured their speech, He didn't just switch their vocabularies, He shattered their shared reality. Imagine waking up in a world where the person next to you is moving their mouth, but making sounds that feel entirely alien. Instantly, the psychological safety of the community evaporates. When you cannot understand a man's words, you can no longer understand his intentions. And where intention is unknown, suspicion rushes in to fill the void. Bring your mind to the scaffolding on that fateful morning. Hundreds of feet in the air, a foreman yells down for more bitumen to seal a structural seam. But the man below doesn't hear the word for tar. He hears gibberish. He assumes the foreman is mocking him. He yells back an insult, but to the foreman, it sounds like a threat. Misunderstanding mutters into frustration. Frustration flares into anger. Within hours, a project driven by absolute harmony collapses into a war zone of paranoia. The construction didn't halt because they ran out of bricks, or because the engineering failed. The project died because the human infrastructure completely rotted from the inside out. The hammers were dropped. The trowels were abandoned. The great monument to human pride became a ghost town of half-baked clay, echoing with arguments no one could resolve. The very thing humanity built the tower to prevent, being scattered across the earth, became their immediate, unavoidable destiny. Unable to communicate, the workers naturally banded together with the few who shared their dialect. Tribes splintered. Families walked away. They turned their backs on Shinar and migrated into the unknown, carrying their new languages with them. Babel became the womb of nations. It was the violent birth of culture, of borders, of the beautiful and tragic diversity that defines our world today. But the ghost of Babel still haunts us. Every century, humanity tries to build a new tower. We see it in the hypercentralized empires of history, in the algorithmic echo chambers of the internet, and in our obsession with global uniformity. We constantly try to force the world back into a single language, a single mindset, a single path to the heavens. But Babel stands as a permanent warning etched into the collective memory of our species, that whenever humanity tries to build a system of absolute control to make a name for ourselves, we don't reach the heavens. We just forget how to speak to one another.
Like and subscribe for next historical.